Okay, so I thought I'd finally do my rant on TNA. I've noticed that there have been a lot of people who have done rants on TNA over the past few months, so I thought it would be my turn, and I think it would be very appropriate for me to give my rant on TNA after their most recent pay-per-view, Genesis. And a lot of the things that I'm going to rant about have to do with who they're bringing in, the bad booking they're doing, and also why Jeff Hardy should not be in the main event scene. First of all, I'm going to start in with the people that TNA has been bringing in recently. A lot of the people that TNA has been bringing in recently are WWE rejects, old WCW and ECW guys, and it's just, we don't want to see these guys anymore. I mean, at least I don't want to see these guys anymore. I'm the type of person who wants to see new people in professional wrestling. I want to see people I've never even heard of so that they can build themselves up, so that way I can know them ground up. And I know a lot of people, look, I know that we need some big names. I know we need some people from WWE. I know we need some people who have worked in previous wrestling promotions, such as ROH and all that. But still, we don't need every new person to be a WWE reject or a former ROH star or whatever. And yet Eric Bischoff says, I'm doing it because of broader appeal to boost ratings. Well, guess what? Broader appeal is not appealing in these days. It's not. Okay? Broader appeal does not appeal to me. I don't want to see old. I want to see new. WWE, they are bringing in new guys onto their programming. I mean, a lot of people from Nexus, okay, a lot of people from Florida Championship Wrestling, they're WWE's developmental league. WWE, they're doing a good job in bringing new people into their promotion. How's TNA doing a good job bringing in new people to TNA? They're not. Okay, I don't care about these other these WWE rejects. I don't care about people who are like 40 years old. I want to see new people in TNA. The fact that Eric Bischoff is not exploring new talent to build their future is just pathetic. And if you're having trouble finding new talent, then you can always explore other markets. You can explore pro wrestling promotions in Canada, Mexico, Japan. I'm sure there's one or two in Europe as well. I mean, the possibilities of finding new talent are endless. And yet you keep giving us WWE rejects. I mean, at Genesis, I knew RVD's mystery opponent was going to be Matt Hardy. And the way they booked that match, for Matt Hardy to win, they shouldn't have done that. RVD should have won that match. Okay, in WWE, 99 out of 100 times, RVD would pwn Matt Hardy. That's how... And the fact that you're letting Matt Hardy win against RVD first time, are you kidding me? It's like unbelievable. And another thing, speaking of Matt Hardy, let's talk about his brother Jeff Hardy. Okay, Jeff Hardy recently had a drug case in which he's recently pled guilty to. It's like, come on. I mean, yeah, finally having him drop the title was the right thing to do, and I do read the spoilers, and next episode of Impact, you announce that he's getting a rematch at Against All Odds. How's that going to happen? He's going to be on probation, most likely going to have to serve time in jail for pleading guilty on his drug case. It's like, why do you award someone a rematch at the World Championship after they plead guilty to a drug charge? That makes absolutely zero sense. It makes zero sense at all. That would be like giving a quarterback in the NFL the MVP after he fails a drug test during the season. It doesn't happen. It's stupid. Absolutely, positively stupid. Jeff Hardy should not be in TNA. He is a bad example. He is a bad champion. Okay? If a champion is having trouble outside of the ring, if he's having trouble with the law, he shouldn't even be with the company in the first place. Okay? Prior to Jeff Hardy coming into TNA, he was arrested and on drug charges, and there was an investigation going on to him. That should have been a red flag not to hire Jeff Hardy, not to hire him back. Okay? In my opinion, anyone, absolutely anyone who has a criminal investigation going on is unemployable at that time. Should not be employed. Shouldn't even be considered for any possibility of employment at the time until the investigation is all cleared up. Okay? Now, if the investigation was all cleared up and Jeff Hardy were to be hired after the investigation, I would have been cool with it. But TNA really dropped the ball. And another thing, with their way they're booking people, it's like the priority should be with the TNA originals. People like AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, the Motor City Machine Guns, Beer Money, and a few others. They should be getting the main pushes. And for some reason, they are not. Okay, AJ Styles, he is a phenomenal wrestler. He lives up to his nickname, The Phenomenal. It's like, and yet, you're making him a mid-carder immediately after he loses the title, the World Championship. I mean, what kind of sense does that make? And for Bound for Glory, it's like, the main event is a triple threat match for the title featuring 3 former WWE stars. It's like, come on, what about the TNA originals? Why are the TNA originals getting the shaft? They should not be getting the shaft. They should take priority over others. I mean, that's why WWE, they're taking priority over the WWE originals than people they get from WCW or ECW or TNA or any other league. And that's no disrespect. It's just to give the others who are not originals a chance to build themselves up. And obviously, they shouldn't be built up too quickly. They should be built up gradually. The fact of the matter is, if you push a certain star that has worked for another promotion way too quickly, 9 times out of 10, it's going to backfire. I mean, the way they put RVD, they gave the title to RVD. It's like 2 months after he debuts in TNA, boom, he's champion. What kind of sense does that make? They put it on him way too quickly, in my opinion. And it's like, there's a lot of other things they're doing wrong. Like, with Slammiversary last year, the main event was not the King of the Mountain match. It was a terrible mistake for them to get rid of the King of the Mountain match for the main event of Slammiversary. Instead, they gave us Sting vs. RVD. No one wanted to see that match. I did not want to see that match. I wanted to see the King of the Mountain match. I wanted to see a tradition in a pay-per-view. And for some reason, Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff and Vince Russo and Dixie Carter, they did not want to give us that tradition. It's like, they had better bring back that tradition for the next Slammiversary. Because it's just, there are a lot of things they are doing wrong with TNA. Okay, TNA missing the mark big time. It's like, give us, like, here are my suggestions on what TNA needs to do to improve their product. Number 1, get rid of all the guys that are way too old that don't have it anymore. I mean, yes, we do need some big names, but ultimately, it shouldn't be a roster of all big names because it's not something I want to watch. Broader appeal is not appealing, as I said earlier on in this video. Second, please focus back on the X Division. Okay, Cruiserweight Wrestling is some of the best wrestling ever that I watch in pro wrestling. Those guys could do a lot of crazy things, and it draws ratings. Cruiserweight wrestling draws ratings. That's another thing you need to do. Third, please get rid of Eric Bischoff, Hulk Hogan, and Vince Russo. They do not know how to book in these days, okay? This is not the 1990s. This is the 2010s. The time has come in which we get bookers that can apply the writing to our generation, to the people watching in 2010. So those three suggestions is what TNA needs to do to help improve their promotion again. It's just, WWE is doing a lot better than TNA in my opinion. I mean, I don't watch pro wrestling too much these days, but whenever I do, it seems that WWE is doing a far better job than TNA is. So this has been a rant from Kyle Snyder on TNA. Thank you very much for watching, and be sure to leave feedback or feel free to leave a video reply on your own rant of TNA and what they need to do to get back on track. Because if TNA does not get back on track, I have no doubt that they will be out of business by the end of 2012.